Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Inside Out Freedom. I am Jonathan. Today, I want to talk about how and why I ended up moving to Mexico, right? And this is in the Baja, in La Paz, Mexico. So if you saw my video about manifesting the 77K, this is kind of what happened after that. So I manifested the 77K in March of 2022. And we decided to go on a trip to Mexico in May of 2022. And the reason for that was because one is I always wanted to go to one of those like Cabo all-inclusive resorts, where you can get all you can eat, all you can drink. I had always wanted to go to one of those. I've never been. So I was like, I wanted to do that. And then the second reason is because I had a friend who, my buddy Frankie. What up, Frankie? He lived in La Paz at the time. He had moved like during COVID. They were like in Germany, and him and his wife moved to La Paz, Mexico, and they've been there for like a year or so. And we're like, yeah, let's go visit them and see how they're doing and just check out the vibe. Really was just to go see them and hang out with them. Plus, I got to go to Cabo. So La Paz is like 3 hours north of Cabo. Cabo's like on the south end of the Baja. Anyways, so we book the trip, we get to Cabo, and it's like beautiful, right? I'll share some pictures here. Like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful resort. You got the ocean view, it's nice rooms, and all you can eat, right? There's different restaurants, there's a buffet. And it was cool, but we got there and the food was like, it was all right. The restaurant food was a little better. There's an outside bar and there's pool bars. You can, have as many drinks as you want. My Bridget and Nyla didn't really drink. I mean, that's only three, so she can't drink, but Bridget doesn't drink. And I was the only one there, and there's only so much like beer I can drink because it just makes me full. And they had an outside grill that did like burgers and hot dogs. It was okay. It was average, right? The breakfast at the buffet was good. The restaurant food was decent. But I remember being there and we were there for, I think, 5 days, 4 nights and 5 days. And honestly, I think we were like ready to go after like the second night or something, like the second day. We're like, okay, kind of got over it pretty quickly. And one of the reasons is I remember sitting there, we're sitting on like one of the beach, what do you call them? The freaking beach loungers or whatever. And we're just on there and we couldn't even go in the water because this is like near the Gulf. And this is like where the ocean is, like the Pacific side of it, where it's like crashes. So you can't even go into the water, but you can see it from a distance. And I was sitting there, I'm like, something's not right. Like, I got a bunch of money. I'm in Mexico on an all-inclusive resort. Like, I should be happy. This is like my dream. This is what I wanted. But internally, I was like still miserable. I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't feel fulfilled. It didn't feel great. And Bridget put it the best. Like, even though this Cabo resort was really nice, really beautiful, and we got served and all this stuff, um, it felt like we were trapped still. And Bridget called it a beautiful prison, right? And I was like, damn, that's exactly what this is. Because in the resort, this is everything in the resort. Like if you want to go out the resort, you got to get an Uber or Lyft or a taxi and they'll take you down. We didn't even do that. It's just because they didn't recommend going outside of, where the resorts were. So we stayed and it was just like it was really weird because it was what I wanted, but I wasn't happy. And then after we went to Mexico, we went to La Paz. So we rented a car, drove up to La Paz. And as we're driving, I remember we're going down the road and I'm like, oh, this is very different from Cabo, right? It's all of a sudden it's not as, fancy, it's not as nice. And there's only one main road, and then you turn into when you go into the residential area, it's all dirt roads, right? So we're just going down this dirt road, and there's like the housing. It didn't look like a place that we would normally visit, right? Anyways, we go down this road to the Airbnb, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, like this gate pops up in the, it's like a gated community with a guard in it. And we go and we say, hey, we're here to visit the Airbnb. He lets us in the gate, and then all of a sudden it's paved roads, and then it's like these nice houses with this beautiful view. And we get to the Airbnb and we're just like, oh wow, okay, the energy just felt so much more peaceful than Cabo. Cabo was very like the people there, like, yeah, they're serving you, but it just felt like, hey, hurry up and eat your food and get out, and we got to clean this up for the next person. It was just kind of like this grind, right? And in La Paz, it just felt like peace. Funny enough, La Paz in Spanish means the peace, right? And it was just really peaceful. And we had this beautiful Airbnb with a beautiful view of the ocean. And we went and we ended up going to meet my buddy Frankie at his place. We had dinner there, and Nyla was playing with their two daughters. And it was like we just had dinner, and then the kids were playing out in the backyard, and it was just chill. It was just a really cool time. And then we went back to our Airbnb, and then just kind of I took a nap. And then at night, Frankie was like, "Hey, you want to go on an adventure?" Like, sure. And he's like, "All right, cool. We're gonna go." And we go down this dirt road. It's nighttime. We go down this dirt road, and all of a sudden, we have no idea. We're like with trees, and then all of a sudden, we're going down, and it just boom, it opens up like the ocean's right there. I think it's the sea or the Gulf. I don't know, but we're going down and we can park. We just parked anywhere, like just on the beach, and we just got out, and the water was so clear and so blue and so calm, right? So the kids could play in the water, but also we just, in America, when you go to the beach, you park at a parking lot, you pay the parking thing, and then you go, and then sometimes there's like these firings. That's where you can do your bonfires. But they always have, people patrolling, at 10 p.m. you got to get out. This beach in Mexico, there's no parking lot. It's just dirt. You just park on it. You go, you make your own little fire ring with, whatever's there. And then you just, bring your little beach chairs or camping chairs, and you hang out with some friends and uh, have some drinks, have some snacks. The kids run around, play around, get the energy out, and you just like enjoy this peace and the beauty. And there's a bunch of cacti around, uh, and there's like these bulls. Like in Mexico, they have these bulls that are like, yeah, they just roam around. I mean, they're somebody's because they're branded and they have like these bells on them, but it's crazy. They have bulls and cows just like wandering around. uh pretty so yeah, so we're like, wow, this is really different from what we know. And then there's this the next day, Frankie's like, hey, you guys want to go down to the Malecon, which is like the boardwalk of La Paz, and you just walk down. It's where like there's restaurants, there's souvenirs. And we go to this like a gelato shop, and I remember we were having gelato outside, and Bridget just like all of a sudden she's like closing her eyes, she goes, "We're gonna move here. Like we're gonna live here." I'm like, what the hell? What? Like, there's no boba here. There's no Asian food. There's none of that. And she's like, "Yep, we're gonna move here." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I guess like if it's gonna happen, it'll happen." And sure enough, like we went back to the States. We kind of got everything in order, and we knew that we didn't really want to stay in Austin anymore. And so that was May of 2022. And in August, we ended up moving to La Paz, Mexico. And we stayed there for about a year and a half or so. And yeah, that was a crazy transition because we went from this big house in Austin, big, like, we had so much stuff. Like, we ended up donating or selling everything. We had to sell our car because we had like a little mini SUV, and then we needed a van. So we bought a van, and then we ended up literally driving from California down to Mexico in August of 2022. And that's a whole different adventure. We learned so much, and so grateful for the people we met. Like, we've had the best community there than any place that we've ever lived. And maybe I'll make a video on that another time. But I share this just because like it's kind of crazy like how things can happen if you allow them, right? If you're being spontaneous, it's also like, being intuitive. Sometimes you just follow your heart. For Bridget, it was like, yo, this is the place we got to be. For whatever reason, we got to come here. And it was perfect. Like, and everything, like the cost of living in Mexico is so much cheaper than the States. And I got it at that time is when I really dove into like high ticket closing, and it was just a awesome, crazy time. Wanted to share it. And if anybody of you are kind of going through, sir, if you have that feeling, if you have that like, oh, I want to be here, I'm supposed to be there, I encourage you to follow it, right? Like that's just so anyways, if you're interested in this type of stuff, right? Manifestation, clearing, healing, all this type of stuff, I'm creating a community. The link will be in the description. If it's not there, it hasn't been created yet, but I am definitely creating it. Would love to just meet you guys, chat. If you guys have questions, happy to share my thoughts on them, my recommendations, kind of my philosophy. Everybody's different, and I don't consider myself some sort of like coach or guru or anything like that, or mentor. Like I guess if anything, I am a coach or a guide, if anything. But I think we all have different lenses of life, and sometimes you hear something that resonates with you and you want to see what can work for you. You can follow that. So feel free to follow me, or look into the community. It'll be free, and yeah, hope to see you guys there. All right, bye for now.